Everything in this Foghorn is from dev posts and the public test and is subject to change, including potential release dates. CV rework delay, lots of buffs, and a radar change. Let's get to it. Hi, I'm Stats, and this is Foghorn. I read things so you don't have to. Update 080 was due to go live this week coming, but will be delayed by 1 week so that Wargaming can implement a couple of more changes based on community feedback, and also to make sure it's ready for live. The release date is set for 30th of January for CIS and NA, and 31st of January for EU and SEA. They've made it clear that there will still be a phase of testing after the update hits where they'll be closely monitoring the rework carriers and how they interact with the game, but they're now confident that it's ready for live play. Personally, I welcome the week delay if they think they need it. This isn't something that should go out if it's not ready, so good decision, Wargaming, well done. There will be a few changes in the third and final round of PTS testing, which I assume will happen over the weekend of the 25th to the 28th. It will be made more visually clear whether a ship is using the defensive AA consumable, and there will be some visual indication, presumably to the enemy carrier, of which AA sector a ship has reinforced. Patrol zone indicators for ship launch fighters will be removed from the minimap to make the map less cluttered, but I'm not sure about this one. Avoiding fighters is a key skill for the new carriers, and it won't always be obvious which ship has launched a fighter or where the boundary is. And if you get it wrong, those fighters will absolutely wreck your squadron, so I prefer to have the option to have these circles turned on, but they are being removed. The way AA sector prioritization works is being changed. Previously, it increased the number of flak bursts, but now it will increase the damage over time aspect of AA instead. Another thing happening in PTS 3 will be that community contributors, official ones, will get the extant premium carriers CAG, Saipan, Enterprise and Graf Zeppelin to test. So that answers your questions about what happens to those. They are coming back, so watch for content from CCs like Farazeleth and Notza, who will certainly be testing them out. I sadly am not yet a CC, so press that subscribe button to help me out. There are some good consequences to the update being delayed. The current version, 0712, will continue for an extra week, and all of the events, with the exception of the Prince Eitel Steel missions, will be extended by 1 week. This includes the directives, the Hall of Fame, the campaign, and clan battles, so you have 1 extra week to collect the rewards from those. In other news, destroyers and smoking cruisers can rejoice because radar is having a slight change which allows ships who are radared a short duration to react before all hell breaks loose. When a ship uses radar, for a few seconds, only the radaring ship will be able to see the radared ship or ships rendered in the game. The radared ships will appear on the minimap for everyone immediately, but they will only render for the rest of the team after a short delay. The exact details haven't been released yet, and I expect this will be released for test in 8.1 or 8.2 public test, so watch this space. Also, a couple of days ago, Wargaming released details of a large number of ship buffs. The date for release of these changes has not yet been announced, but expect them in the next update or 2. There are quite a few, so get comfortable. Japanese Tier 9 battleship Izumo is having its Sigma increased from 1.8 to 2.0, which is a significant buff on top of the other recent buffs to this underloved ship. This will certainly make Izumo far more effective, and I'll certainly be rebuying it to see how good it really is. Japanese premium Tier 8 battleship Key, a personal favourite of mine, is having its main battery reload reduced from 31 seconds to 30 seconds. Its torpedoes are also being increased in range from 6 km to 10 km, while their speed has been reduced by 1 knot to 62 knots. Japanese Tier 7 battleship Nagato is having its main battery reload reduced from 32 to 30 seconds. American Tier 7 battleship Colorado is having its Sigma increased from 1.9 to 2.0, which is a welcome change for a ship which can be very frustrating to play given its slow speed. The Sigma change will mean more reliable big hits for players with good aim. French Tier 6 premium battleship Dunkirk, another favourite of mine, is having its main battery reload reduced from 28 to 26 seconds, more in line with its higher tier counterparts, which will hopefully compensate for its lower than average calibre and unreliable dispersion. British Tier 7 premium battleship Hood, a ship that I've really struggled with up till now, is having its sigma increased from 1.8 to 1.9, and its AP fuse increased from 0.015 seconds to 0.033 seconds. This will mean that it will get more citadels on battleships and heavily armoured cruisers, but will probably tend to overpen lighter cruisers more easily. So if you've been playing the ship as a cruiser deleter, you may have to play it slightly differently after the change is made. A few destroyers get some attention too. French Tier 6 premium destroyer Aigle is having its torpedo range increased from 7 to 8 kilometers, allowing for a decent stealth firing margin. American Tier 7 destroyer Mahan is having its main battery reload reduced from 4 to 3.3 seconds to compensate for its difficult-to-use ballistics. It puts out very high damage per minute, but it seems that most players are struggling to actually hit anything. This change will make Mahan very dangerous in the hands of a good American destroyer player. American Tier 7 premium destroyer Sims, my go-to Tier 7 destroyer, which I consider to already be extremely strong in the right hands, is having its base torpedo range increased from 5.5 to 7 kilometers. The upgraded torpedoes will change from 9.2 to 10.5 kilometers. The maximum damage has increased from 8,500 to 9,667, while the reload has increased slightly from 72 to 76 seconds. This change may make the shorter range torpedoes a viable option for confident players who tend to knife fight. Finally, Soviet Tier 8 destroyer Kiev is being changed to make the transition between the lower and the higher tiers smoother. Kiev will be able to mount Repair Party instead of Smoke, allowing players to use it more like the way that Tashkent and Khabarovsk are played as long-distance run-and-gun ships. One other change which has been confirmed in the last week is that the Supercruisers Kronstadt, Stalingrad, Azuma and Alaska will have their fire durations increased from 45 seconds to 60 seconds to compensate for the fact that their survivability seems to be too high compared to other ships. This could have an impact on Stalingrad when used in competitive play, as good teams will be able to monopolise on the higher damage they can do by setting permafires, but in random battles this change shouldn't have a large impact. Well, that's it for this Foghorn. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on the third carrier rework public test next week, and I will certainly be streaming a little bit of that, so go and follow me on Twitch or join my Discord, links below, so that you get notified when I go live. I've been Stats, you've been awesome, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you very soon.